Hi guys. So yesterday in the story, they got freed from the big giant spider, but then the spider realized that they must have escaped. So let's see what happens next. Miss Muffet rushed to the door to warn the others to go. "He's heard you whispering together," she said. "Go quickly." The children and the others all fled, Jack and Jill too. The spider took his feet out of the hot mustard bath and looked around for a towel to dry them. "I shan't give you a towel," said Miss Muffet. "You can go after them with wet feet and get even worse cold and be dreadfully ill, but I won't nurse you then." The spider sneezed. "Hachoo! Hachoo! Oh dear, this really is a dreadful cold. I don't want to make it any worse. I'll be good and put my feet back. I'll have to let my prisoners escape." "There's a good spider," said Miss Muffet. He was pleased. "I wish I could have a hot water bottle, Miss Muffet. I've never had one." "Well, as you've let your prisoners go, I'll lend you my bottle," said Miss Muffet, and went to get it. Joe, Moonface, Saucepan, and the others had by this time got to the top of the hill and down the other side. They looked back but could see no sign of the spider. "He's not coming after us after all," said Bessie thankfully. "Where's the hole through the cloud?" "We'll show you," said Jack and Jill. "We'd rather like to come down it with you and see the faraway tree." "Oh, do," said everyone. "Come and have some dinner with us." "I'll send down Silky and get her to come up and help make sandwiches," said Moonface. When they came to the hole in the cloud, they all slid down the ladder and branch and went to Moonface's house. Jack and Jill were amused to see his curved furniture. They sent the red squirrel down to fetch Silky. She had been out shopping all morning and came up delighted to know that Joe and the others were up the tree. She squealed with delight to see Jack and Jill too. "Hello!" she cried. "It's ages since I last saw you two. Do you still fall down the hill? Jack, you haven't got your head done up in vinegar and brown paper for a wonder." "No, because Bessie kindly helped me carry the bucket of water down the hill today," said Jack, "and she goes faster than Jill, so we didn't fall over through getting out of step. We've had a lot of adventures today, Silky." "Oh, Silky, here's a present for you," said Joe, remembering, and he gave her the pretty little elf cotton reel on which he had wound the spider thread. "Oh, thank you, Joe," cried Silky. "Just what I want. I couldn't get any fine thread at all this morning. This will do beautifully." "Will you help to make some sandwiches, Silky?" asked Moonface. "We thought we'd have a picnic dinner up here. Let me see, how many are there of us?" "6 children and 4 others," counted Joe. "10. You'll have to make about 100 sandwiches." "It's a pity the land of goodies isn't here," said Moonface. "We could go up and take what we wanted for then and bring it down. Got any Google buns or Pop biscuits, Silky dear?" "I've got some Pop biscuits in my basket somewhere," said Silky. "Do Jack and Jill know them?" They didn't, and they did enjoy them. They went pop as soon as they were put into the mouth, and honey flowed out from the middle of each biscuit. "Delicious," said Jack. "I could do with a few dozen of these biscuits." Soon they were all sitting on the broad branch outside Moonface's house, eating sandwiches and biscuits and drinking lemonade. There was as much lemonade as anyone liked, because, in a most friendly manner, the faraway tree suddenly began to grow ripe yellow lemons on the branches round about. All Moonface had to do was pick them, cut them in half and squeeze them into a jug. Then he added water, sugar, and the children drank the lemonade. "This is a marvellous tree," said Connie, leaning back happily. "Simply marvellous. You are clever, Moonface, to make such lovely lemonade." "Dear me, Connie seems to be believing in the tree at last," said Joe. "Do you, Connie?" "Yes, I do," said Connie. "I can't help it. I didn't like that spider adventure, but this is lovely, sitting here eating these delicious sandwiches and Pop biscuits and drinking lemonades from lemons growing on the tree." She shook the branch she was leaning on, and some ripe lemons fell off. They went bumping down the tree. Then came a yell from below. "Now then, who's throwing ripe lemons at me? I should like to know. One's got in my wash tub. Any more of that and I'll come up and spank the thrower." "There," said Moonface to Connie. "See what you've done, shaking down heaps of juicy lemons onto Dame Washalot. She'll be after you if you're not careful." "Oh," said Connie in alarm. She called down the tree. "I'm so sorry, Dame Washalot. It was an accident." "Connie's getting some manners," said Joe to Bessie. "Any more Pop biscuits? Have another, Saucepan." "Mother's very well, thank you," said Saucepan. I said have another, said Joe. You haven't asked him to sell you a saucepan, said Bessie. Ask him about a saucepan for Mother. Have you got a saucepan that would do for our mother? Asked Joe. I want a little nice saucepan to boil milk. Oiled silk, said Saucepan. No, my mother doesn't wear oiled silk. Why should she? She wears black with a red shawl and a red belt and a bonnet with... Can't we get away from Saucepan's mother? Groaned Joe. I never even knew he had one. I wonder where she lives. Saucepan unexpectedly heard this. She lives in the land of Dame Slap, he said. She's her cook. She needs lots of saucepans because she has to cook meal for all the children at her school. Gracious, said Bessie, remembering. We've been to Dame Slap's land. We flew there once in an aeroplane. We had an awful time because Dame Slap put us into her school. Does your mother really live there? Said Joe. Do you ever get to see her? Oh, yes, when I can, said Saucepan. I believe Dame Slap's land is coming next week. I'd like you all to meet my dear old mother. She will give you a most wonderful tea. There was silence. No one wanted to be mixed up with Dame Slap again. She was a most unpleasant person. Well, said Saucepan, looking round, I didn't hear anyone say thank you very much. We'd love to know your mother. Well, you see, it's a bit awkward, said Moonface. You see, your mother's being a cook to Dame Slap, I suppose you are trying to say that my dear old mother isn't good enough for you to meet, said Saucepan unexpectedly and looked terribly hurt and cross. Oh, bless me. All right, if you don't want to know my mother, you shan't know me. And to everyone's alarm, he got up and walked straight up the branch into the cloud and disappeared into the land of nursery rhyme. Everyone yelled after him, Saucepan, we'd love to meet your mother, but we don't like Dame Slap. Saucepan, come back! But Saucepan either didn't or wouldn't hear. You go and fetch him back, said Joe to Jack and Jill, so they went up after him, but soon they came back. Can't see him anywhere, they said. He isn't to be found. I expect he's hiding away in a temper. He'll soon be back again. We'll have to go home, said Joe at last. Let us know when Sir Saucepan comes back, Moonface. Tell him we would love to meet his old mother, and it's all a mistake. All the same, I hope he won't want us to go to Dame Slap's land. I shouldn't like that at all. Go down the slippery slip, said Moonface, throwing the children cushions. Yes, I feel upset about Saucepan too. He isn't usually so touchy. You go first, Joe. Joe sat on his cushion, gave himself a push, and down he went, whizzing round and round the slippery slip, right to the bottom of the tree. He shot out of the trapdoor and landed on the tuft of moss. He got up hurriedly, knowing that Connie was coming down just behind him. Soon, all four were at the foot of the tree. The squirrel collected the cushions and disappeared with them. Joe linked arms with the girls, and they turned towards home. Well, that was quite an adventure, Joe said. I guess you don't want to meet Miss Muffet's spider again, Connie. No, I don't, said Connie. But I'd like to please old Saucepan and meet his mother, even if he hasn't been very nice to me so far. You're getting to be quite a nice little girl, Connie, said Joe in surprise. Well, maybe we'll all have to go and meet his mother next week. We'll see. Right, guys, so tomorrow we'll carry on and see if they actually find Saucepan and if they actually get to meet his mother. Let's wait until tomorrow to see. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I love you all very much. Bye.